C.Prince, and I'm here on 20 TV Live. We on the Watch 20 TV Live stream. We actually are doing live with Lady C.Prince on the Real Lavish channel. And I'm super excited because as you can already see, we have our cover girl. Well, let me change that up. Our cover woman.
Oh, period.
Yes, Aisha Finch. Hey.
Yes, thank you, Lady C. Thank you so much, Lavish Magazine. This is amazing. Thank you for this. I don't even have the words to express. Like, I just been like, since you've asked me to do this, I have just been like, what? Me? Just this girl from the Bronx. So I'm just like, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. You know, because you're in your season. You just came from the Ready to Love TV show in DC, right? So that was one of the reasons why I pulled you for this. But no, the main reason is because I already experienced your style and you know somewhat of your personalities years ago in New York. So I was super excited to be able to offer you a cover that is pretty big. And I would say that, you know, by you being on our cover too, that is, you know, benefiting us, and we are going to all grow out forward together. And we want to hear more of your story. So tell me, how did you end up on Ready to Love?
How did I end up on Ready to Love? So, okay, I've done, because you guys know I've done so many interviews. So
yes.
So a lot of this is redundant, but it's new to you. So
okay.
I've said this, I'm not a fan of reality TV. I don't watch television. I don't even have a television in my bedroom. Me and reality TV, I fell out of love with it when I kept seeing women that look like me bicker so much to the point where it was drowning out their positivity and their beauty. So I got to the point where I was like, I'm turned off by this because we don't act like this all the time. Why are they doing this? So I literally was like, I'm done with reality TV. And to the point where I started to feel a little bit good about myself. Like, these ladies are rich and they fighting like this. So my life ain't that bad. That's not a good feeling, you know, ladies. So I just decided to remove myself from reality TV. A girlfriend of mine tried out for the show, Ready to Love, and she didn't get on. Then she told me that the spirit told her one night to send it to me. So she sent it to me and I was just like, girl, what's this? You know, because I don't watch reality TV no more. I haven't for almost probably 6 years. So she was like, oh, this is a new reality TV show on Oprah's network. I really think you should give it a try. And I was like, no, thank you. You know, I don't watch TV and let alone reality TV. So she's like, oh, try it. So she sent it to me another time again, like, Aisha, I just, please, like, I feel like this is for you. Like, you beautiful, you're so successful. And the only thing is missing is you're not putting yourself out there to date. And I'm like, but a reality dating show? Like, girl, I don't think that's the place to start dating, you know?
Yes.
Like, I mean, you have the stuff. She kept using stuff like, I feel like you have the look. And I didn't know what she meant by that. I was like, I humored her and filled it out.
Okay.
And little did I know, the very next day I was called.
See, it was for you.
And they loved me, and the scouting agent, she loved me, and she's like, you are beautiful. I love you. I love just from just talking to you briefly. And I was like, oh, okay. I still was a little skeptical, but she assured me that it was no drama.
Maybe no aggressive drama this time around.
Because I'm like, I'm not for it, like, you know. So I just decided to get on it, and my point with going on it, I was like, I didn't feel like I was gonna find love, but my main point was, I'm a Black woman who's been through a divorce. I'm a Black woman who's been through some stuff, right? And for the most part, we are labeled bitter, right? Bitter, you know. So I was just like, I want to
angry,
angry
Black female,
so aggressive, you know, all these labels they give us, right? And I've been to therapy, and I've been through a healing journey where I was sure of myself that I'm showing up back in this dating world positive. I'm happy. None of my my past is going to make me treat anybody different. I have this phrase that I've coined called healing. And I'm like, I'm a healed woman who's still going on a healing journey, but nevertheless, I'm healed. And I want the world to see what that looks like.
Yes, it looks great on you. I actually know what healing looks like. I know what it feels like, and I know what it means. And it looks great on you, even after the facts of, you know, you making it to the end, which set you apart once again. Not only are you a beautiful person and you have a wonderful personality, you straightforward and, you know, direct to the truth, but you also made it to the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that was literally just by me being me. I showed up. I kept telling them, I don't know what this TV world is. I don't want to know no fluff. Right. I want to show up.
Okay.
You guys saw, I cried on moment. I was giving, I feel like I even had family members and friends calling me after episodes like, why did you give them that part of you? Like, no, he else is saying stuff like that. No, keep that for yourself. And I'm like, I don't know why my spirit said to say it. And the guys asked me a question, I had to answer truthfully. I had to be truthful. And if I was going to show up in the process, I had to show up in the process bearing all of me.
Right. And, you know, a lot of times people who are on the hunt, they take that as a weakness, but that's actually a strength as well, to be able to allow that emotion to come out in this way and then, you know, stored it properly. I thought it was a really good thing. You know, sometimes it's always these one specific reality TV personalities that I like what one of my girlfriends said the other day. She said, touch the soul. And so just that one, I'm not going to say that's the only, but that one pivotal emotion, you know, really did penetrate some things. I watched it. I actually watch reality TV, girl, because that's what I be doing. But I watch it for other reasons, as from a producer's perspective.
Yeah, because that's your field, that's your business, you know.
Yes.
So
but at the same time, I pay attention to beautiful characters. I pay attention to realness. And so that was what, you know, drew me to it. And I did see that pivotal moment. And I could probably remember it you know, vividly, but at the same time, you did connect and you did get into, what would you call it, a relationship?
Yes, I would call it a relationship because that's what we called it. You know, we said we're gonna date exclusively. You know, I even gave the option to like maybe we should date other people and still date each other. And I was given the no, I want to date you exclusively and I want this. Wow. You know? So like I tell people, I'm human and I'm a woman. I love out loud. And I don't care how many times people go like, oh my God, red flags. I don't care. Like I allow people to show up.
Okay.
I allow people to show up and then I move accordingly. Yeah. You know, if you asking for your redemption walk, you get to have that with me as long as you show up in that space. The moment you show up in that space, then I get to remove myself. But I'm just not one of those people, me personally, Aisha Finch personally, I'm not one of those people who make people jump through loops to then have a place in my life. I give you that full, and it's up to you if you're going to keep it full or you're going to pour it out.
Yes.
I don't know you. You're a stranger. I'm a stranger, right? Lazy. What I look like saying like, you want to be my friend, prove it to me. Like, and I know people say move that way, but I don't operate like that because I'm not in the business of making myself proven to somebody. I'm showing up authentic. Right. And my authenticity is going to suit your life or it's not. And if I don't, if any part of me wavers, that's when you decide, Aisha, you're not for me. You know? But
and the past can veer and you can move on and you know, and I seen that. I was like, wow, that's magnificent, because the average person with that comeback wouldn't have been as strong and it wouldn't have been as positive, you know. And if you guys want to know the details, y'all could go on other streaming platforms to find out exactly what happened. But we over here on this empowerment, this love empowerment movement with Aisha today. And so, but yeah, I was like so proud of you. Like, I'm the type of woman that if you tell me you the Pope, I believe you until I find out otherwise. I believe you all the way to the point. So I understand that. I've been married 16 years, and the first day I met my husband, we still been married. We still been together. The first day. So I didn't get a chance to court. You know, I didn't get a chance to get filmed, and you know, we still been married to this day. But if a person starts showing you something different about their character,
But it's just little that the people are, oh, use a discernment. Discernment comes when people starts to show you who they are, and
That's
then
right.
the gut instinct takes over, and then you say, let me move. We're not psychics, you know? We're not
For
psychics.
sure.
People love to throw that word out. Use discernment. It's like, but your discernment is a reactive emotion, not a foresight. There's no such thing as a foresight, you know. Your discernment to me is a reactive measure. Oh my God, he started to less phone calls. My discernment is now telling me that's not conducive to what we talked about. So now my discernment will kick in, and now my spidey senses will tingle, and then I will move accordingly. But
then that's when you find out the truth. Because I don't have to take a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes a little deep connection for things that's in the dark to come out.
And that's it. And I always tell people, remember too, this was not a normal process.
Right.
I'm before millions of people dating.
Yes.
So once the cameras turn off, you now you definitely get to really see this person for who them truly are. Because contractually, we weren't supposed to meet outside of the process. And I, as heard from many of the cast, was the only one who never met outside of the process. Everybody, all the guys called me old lady because I did not break the rules. I stayed to myself.
You went through the process. You went through the actual.
So this is why when some, naysayers say, oh, you should have saw it. How? I followed the rules.
Yeah.
It's just this path was just destined to happen regardless. Maybe this was a lesson for me. Maybe this was a lesson for him. Who knows? But the bottom line is, don't condemn the woman who is speaking up, who was hurt. How
understandable.
How dare people do that to not just me, women in general?
Yeah.
The blame falls on the woman when she showed up.
Yep.
Because like I just did my podcast last night, and I said, no, people say, oh, you should have waited more. You should have gotten. So to the woman who waited 5 months, to the woman who waited 5 years, to the woman who waited 3 years, and then something bad still happened to her, who then do we blame? If Pastor Keon said this in one of his ministries, is that people get mad at the one who is telling the hurt that happened to them and not the person who did the hurting.
Yeah, because it's obviously that your voice have a purpose, and that situation led you to the time of your voice being louder and stronger and having more volume and reach, you know what I'm saying? So do you think after this process that you were made for the industry, for reality TV, you were made for television?
I don't know if I was made for television, but I've always been an advocate for like I've been the voice for abused women since I am myself an abused woman. So for 9 years, I've always spoke out on abuse, and I work with foundations and organizations and nonprofits where I give back, and I do hair and makeup for women, and that's my give back, and I speak with women. So that's always been my passion. So I always tell people, you're just now seeing me because now I have just been catapulted.
If you had that opportunity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but this has always been my mission. My mission has always been to be the mouthpiece for the ones who don't have it. Because I'm from the Bronx, baby. This mouth is loud.
well, we know, honey. So
this mouth is loud, honey.
I've seen the Bronx come out, especially when the females tried it. That's how I like to say the Bronx came out. And so you definitely held your ground with that too. So how has being on TV, reality TV, how has it changed the trajectory of your life going forward?
The recognition is out of this world. But it's also beautiful. But some days when my wig is crooked and I don't got no makeup on and I look a mess, somebody recognized me in the market, and I'm like, they like, you that girl from that show. I'm like, how you know? I look a whole mess. And they like, it's your voice and your pretty smile. And I'm like, well, thank you.
Yes.
And then they follow off with, thank you for standing up for women. I'm sorry it didn't work out, but thank you for still standing up for women. And that's the purpose of it all. The purpose of it all is not to bash anybody. I'm telling my story, and it doesn't. And if you didn't want to be included in my story, then you wouldn't have done. you
Right.
know?
Right.
But at the bottom, I get to keep my integrity by telling the truth. I get to
Okay.
keep my integrity by showing up as this Black woman who
Yes.
just saying out loud that nobody will ever change me.
Mm. I think that's good. That sounds right up my alley too. You know, so hey, that type of female, yeah, she needs to be on platforms, on covers, on mics. And so what do you have coming up?
What do I have coming up right now? Because of this platform, like you said, I feel like a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, you are made for TV. You have this voice. You draw us in. You are saying things that a lot of people are afraid to say." So thank you for that. So right now, I have my journal that I have, and it's called "A Healed and Healing." And it's a journal to freeing your mind. And it's just a bunch of interactive stuff to help you get through it, asks you questions. The first thing is leading with gratitude, is making sure you do wellness checks on your mind and your body. Yeah. So it's an interactive journal and it's amazing. And then my memoir is coming out about my life. Short read, but so powerful. And then coming up shortly, I have I partnered with Women Doing It Big, and then I will be doing, and so I'll be doing my healing tour. And this tour, it will just be about women just gathering in a space to tell their stories, just love on each other, have some resources where you can take away. Yeah. If some women are not in therapy, there's going to be where we're going to be able to hook you up with a therapist to make sure that your journey of healing is complete. This is not just a meet and talk and greet and laugh. This is that and more. This is a spiritual tour where I want to heal women. A lot of us are scared to say out loud, I need help. And a lot of us don't know where to start. Yeah. So my healing tour is going to be just that, giving you a place to start and giving you a voice to say, it's not your fault.
Ooh, and then you gonna be on you all in the H-Town. We ain't even dropped the bomb. Well, we ain't even dropped the bomb in the marketplace yet. And you're gonna be on the cover of our magazine. You are on the cover of our magazine and all of our promo campaigns this quarter. And we are super excited to be up with you in the H-Town. You're gonna come around here during that time, and we excited to read your article and just to really connect with you and grow out further. I'm super excited about your journey.
And then also too, sorry, Lacey, my wig line.
Oh, you got that wig line going on.
Yes. Yeah, that wig is Doll collection. So my wig line is Pink Doll collection. So it's also gonna be like, this is my baby. I've been doing, like you said, you met me doing this, so this has been a long time coming. My wig line finally coming into fruition. So
well, congratulations.
And then keep it on the cover of your magazine. So that's just like the double.
Girl, don't forget to put that in there too. We definitely gotta incorporate that in there, because you actually, I like to say blondes have more funds, but you actually, are you still a blonde?
Yes, I'm still a blonde under here. I keep it short and blonde, like everybody knows. So when I take off my wigs and if I post pictures of me with my short buzz, cut and blonde, people like, that's your look. I'm like, I know, it's been my look for 15 years.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Okay. You right. Because it's been some years with us. So you right. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that blonde, with you being a chocolate doll, honey, blonde and chocolate goes together great. That look good on you. So even too in the form of like editorial. So are you doing any modeling? Because I know you take hot pictures. You also take pictures that are really editorial. And they could be published, in multitudes of forms and formats. So any modeling going on with you?
I offered a lot, but I'm not shy. But I don't know. When I get offered, I guess I just keep saying, let's see where it goes. So I have a couple of things in a work where it's gonna be me being modeling and stuff like that. And I'm just letting the chips fall with me. Like I said, this whole Ready to Love experience has been experienced. Even with the down, it has been an amazing experience. I would not go back. I don't live in regret. So I would never go back and change not a thing. I wouldn't
Go
change
ahead.
anything, because how it's happened is how it's happened. I'm
Yep.
thankful for every person who stepped in my life, whether it's been good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
You were purposely placed in my life because I believe in divine order.
Yes.
I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I don't begrudge anyone. You know, let me make that very clear. I have no ill will or hate for anyone. My
That's
journey,
good.
my story is my story. I went through it. It's going to be now a new stepping stone for me to move forward. And now I get to now have an extra thing in my discernment, as everybody likes to scream out.
Well, you're gonna grow in that too. And so the bonus question is, because I know we titled it When the Love is Ready. So is the love still ready? Is love?
Yes, girl. The love is ready.
Ah,
I am not one of those people that's like, oh my God, let me sit. And so, I
yeah,
did that. I'm not gonna lie. I
right.
cried. I went through the motions.
Yeah.
But the point of healing, let me say that real quick. The point of healing, like I said, I'm on my podcast. My podcast is YouTube, Aisha Pink Dolly Glam.
Okay.
And I say this on my YouTube is when you find yourself and you find the healing, LADYC, what
Yeah.
happens is this: you are now mentally sound. You are now spiritually sound. You are now emotionally sound to be able to compartmentalize all of those emotions, so that when tragedy or trauma happens, I am now equipped with the tool to handle it. I am human, so I will go through the motions, right? I will cry, I will kick, I will scream, right? But then I will get up and I will go again. And that's the beauty of therapy. The beauty of therapy has given me the tools to say, you don't get to sit in that emotion. Because once I sit in that emotion now takes control of me. And if that emotion takes the control of me, the person who inflicted that emotion now puppeteers me and controls me. And no one is in control of Aisha Finch. So yes, it hurted. Yes, I cried. Yes, I will move forward. But the beauty of all of this is this. Yeah. The scene and the beauty of therapy is me get to show up. The beauty of it gets to show up in forgiveness. I forgive you. I forgive. I don't look for apologies. I forgive because it benefits me.
You. Exactly. Hey, y'all. So this is Lady C.Prince. I'm here with Aisha Finch, and she is on the cover of Real Lavish Layout Lady magazine. And we are so thankful. Thank you so much for joining this, particular show, this interview. And we are super excited about seeing what she has coming up forward. And I need you guys to stay tuned for a commercial break. Hey y'all, so it's Lady C.Prince and I'm back. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Aisha. We're super excited to see her on the cover of Lavish Lady magazine. So I have my next guest here, and this area, you guys already know on Faith Talk with her, I'm super passionate about marketplace money. I go in from Proverbs 31, always talking about the virtuous woman, how she is like the merchant ship. And she's very resourceful. So I actually have a resourceful woman on the show today. I'm super excited for my special guest, Brianna Hairlson. Hey, Brianna.
Hey, LADYC, how are you doing today?
Good. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you so much for accepting the invitation. And I'm just super excited about you. I'm actually proud of you too, because I have, experienced your journey and, read up on your journey, and I see what you are doing with your company and what you're doing with your business and how you're able to just move in faith. I like to say faith. You are able to move in faith and win these grants across the nation. So talk to us about what you do and who you are.
Yeah, so I have a dance studio. It's called Breeze Dance Place. And literally I opened it 5 months before the pandemic hit. It was definitely a leap of faith. I was doing, prior to me actually opening a physical location, I was doing pregnancy and new mom dance classes, because at that time I was expecting my first son. Now I'm expecting my third child.
Now, well, congratulations.
Thank you. So this baby's due in November. So when I went to go open the studio, it was definitely a leap of faith. Like, God told me to move. It was urgency, but it was with a lot of attacks, right? So you know that when God tells you to move, Satan's not happy about you taking ground. So he attacks it. But the thing about it was, I actually, if I rewind back, I'm from Indiana. And I wasn't born with like a whole bunch of money or anything like that. My father worked in the steel mill. My mom worked in the school system, but I went on a college tour my freshman year of high school to Howard University.
Yes.
And I knew that I wanted to attend Howard, but I knew we couldn't afford it. So I told my parents if they could help me like my first year of college, they'll never have to pay again. So what I found out in that environment, that it was so many scholarships, like meaning like not only did the school have a lot of money to give, but there were outside scholarships. And even if you got so many scholarships where it covered your cost of attendance, you could still live on scholarships. So 10 years ago, I just, it's been 10 years since I graduated. I experienced that, and I was living off of scholarships. I graduated debt free. So the same process that I used to graduate from Howard debt free, when the pandemic hit with my dance studio, God recalled to my mind, like, you know what to do. Yes. So the same process. I would when I was in college, every Saturday I would wake up and I would search for scholarships. I would apply.
Was this like Google search, or give us some tips? How was you searching? Where was you searching?
Yeah. So at Howard, they had a specific, we were back in that time, we were only one of two schools that had like an endowment from the government or something like that, where us and Gallaudet University, they had money, which were like foundational grants. So in the School of Business, if you had a high GPA, based on, they would just give out the money until they ran out, right? So that was within my school. So I always did research within the School of Business. Then I would expand to within like financial aid. So that would be my search there. And then for college, I really looked at United Negro College Fund, because I went to a HBCU, but that's not the only resource. That they fund other schools too. You just have to read, like if it's a 4-year university, like it's been people who have gotten scholarships who don't go to a HBCU through United Negro College Fund. So United Negro College Fund was another resource that really gave me a lot of money. And then Thurgood Marshall College Fund, I got, I think maybe about $10,000 throughout my 4 years from them. Plus I also got trips to go to New York for conferences and stuff like that. So it's just so much. And I even got an internship. It's unbelievable what you can be exposed to once you get out of your small thinking, right? Because if I would have just been scared and stayed in Indiana, I wouldn't have known that it was money out there, right? So I would say for those who are looking for scholarships, I would definitely start in your school. So whether you're in nursing, whether you're in business, psychology, starting your school first. See if they have money within the school, and then branch out to the larger university. If it's a university or college, go there, and then even go to your community. So I would say like churches, just different organizations, foundations in your community. And then you can apply for those larger grants that now is everybody applying across like the nation, right? So that's the United Negro College Fund, the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, the Gates Millennium Scholars, all of the Jackie Robinson Awards, a 4-year scholarship, Ron Brown, PepsiCo, like those are the big national grants where now you're competing against everyone in the country. So that would be my tips for scholarships, right? So then God was like, you know what to do. So I just started applying, and how I started applying was, it was COVID. So during that season, even now, it was just a lot for women entrepreneurs, and for Black women entrepreneurs. So the first grant that I heard about, my mother-in-law sent me, it was for Spanx, and it was a $5,000 grant through Sarah Blakely. And it was through Global Giving. And I applied to that, and they were just giving money out. And so I probably applied in like maybe May, and I got it in about July. So that's another tip. Nothing is immediate with grants. It's about 2 to 3 months until you get funded from the time you apply, because they do it in cycles. So you'll hear like maybe when you apply in January, you won't hear back till like March or April. You apply in March or April, you'll hear back like June or July. A lot of money I got in like November, because it's towards the end of their fiscal period, you know, their giving period, and they want to write off. Because at the end of the day, when you get corporate grants, because it's a difference, but when you get corporate grants, say for instance, the Comcast grant that we both received, the Comcast Rise.
Yeah, we need to talk about that too.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that one next. But it looks good on their books too, because first of all, if you think about marketing, any business that does something good for the community is going to hold a piece of your heart, and you might think about them more so than their competitor. Like Consol just had $100,000 grant. And I definitely know like Black women are like, okay, they're doing something for our community. So it's good for their image, it's good for their marketing, and then it's good for their books too, because they're giving
a good write-off
for their write-off. So that was a process for me when the pandemic hit. The Spanx was the first one I got. By the end of 2020, I had received, just the end of 2020, from August to December, I had received $46,000 in grants.
Yes, I heard about that. Like I heard that from you directly when I took your course. And so when you get these grants, are they all monetization grants, or do they be various different types of grants?
Yeah. So it can be money or it can be services. The most ones that I have received, I received a $25,000 grant. That was money.
Wow.
The Comcast Rise grant, and that was through I Fund Women and American Express. And I can tell you a little bit about that one later. But the Comcast Rise, that was services. So that was, I received two laptops for my dance studio, 3 tablets, and then a desktop, and then a year of free Comcast service. And that was valued at $7,500. I received that in 2020. And then I just received a different part of it because I didn't get the media grant at first. And so they gave us a commercial valued at $7,500 that ran throughout our local area. And that's the same one that you got.
For sure.
Yeah, those are services. So I apply for everything, anything that's going to help my business, because if you think about businesses take so much. You got to think about your accounting, your marketing, your people. I have employees. So I just applied for a grant that actually helped me with like making sure that I got a really good bookkeeper and accountant, because I was doing it myself through QuickBooks. So sometimes it's services, sometimes it's money paid directly to you. Sometimes it's money paid to the service provider. So this $4,000 grant, I went through like a workshop and they paid the accountant directly on behalf of my business. So
and that's big. That's because that's one of the top overheads of business is your accountant. Okay. Wow. So as you started to progress, I really understand like the whole layout that you're talking about. And the reason why I do is because I did take your class last year, and you spoke of churches. So how did you get connected with the Joseph Business Center? Because like Pastor Bill Winston, that's our uncle. Not for real. That's our spiritual uncle. But he didn't taught me how to steward kingdom wealth and how to obtain it. And so how did you get connected with them?
Yeah, so originally I was working for IBM as a consultant. And I felt a tug on my heart, but I always taught dance. I sold the gift to the church. I was over children's church for about like maybe 4 years after I graduated from Howard. And I felt a tug to go to Joseph Business School, to enroll in the school. So I enrolled while I was still a full-time consultant, didn't think anything was going to change. I'm like, okay, this would be for down the line. So Joseph Business School teaches you how to start your business from a biblical perspective, kingdom principles, how to accelerate your business, all of that. So I enrolled in October of 2017. I was set to graduate in June of 2018 because at that time it was a 9-month course. At first it was just going to be the dance studio, but then on Valentine's Day, me and my husband found out we were expecting. So I'm like, I'll do pregnancy and new mom dance classes. Tell me why I was laid off from IBM, blindsided completely. And God already knew it because I rolled over into full-time entrepreneurship. That's why the tug was strong for me to go to entrepreneurship school.
Yes.
And I had just turned down like this role with IBM to travel every week of the year.
Okay.
My husband was not for it. He said, we're
Yeah.
newlyweds. That ain't gonna work for me. We can't do that.
Yes.
And I cried so hard because at that season in my life, I was like, I can travel, like it can work and all of that. But
Right.
God had something way better for me. And I was glad I turned it down. I ended up being laid off from them and then went into full-time entrepreneurship through Joseph Business School. So
well, that seemed like a divine order to me because
Yes.
Uncle Dr. Bill Winston, he was in IBM, you
Uh-huh.
know, and then got called into the kingdom. So that's
Yep.
super exciting. So you got a solid foundation. It is so important. I love to tell women in business in the marketplace that if you are a Christian and you are a believer, your business should be built on the biblical foundation. It is a whole nother reach in the natural, in the earth, when it comes to God providing, you know, and funding your business and leading and guiding you and stewarding you into certain places for your business to thrive and prosper.
Yeah, and it's supernatural. Like just even what they teach us at JBS, as far as having the vision that your business will be, you know, at $1 million in revenue by your third year, like that takes some faith for you to, you know, break out of. So I'm even looking for my studio not to just be, you know, an Indiana studio. And we already have global connections. And even through Joseph Business School, me and my husband, we were able to travel to South Africa for a month.
Okay.
From October to November. So it's just so many kingdom perks to just doing stuff God's way. You know, he honors you and he'll blow your mind. He really will.
That is true. That is true, because it's one thing to be a personal sower. And you know, me and my husband, we're sowers. We've been sowing into that actual ministry for over 10 years now. And but it's another thing for your business to be a sower, for your business to be a giver and a tither. You know, it's a whole, like you said, it's supernatural. It's you cannot comprehend it in the natural unless you're in faith. And so I'm excited for you. All right, so talk to us. Let's talk about this Comcast, because the Comcast Rise grant is actually starting to go viral. People are really picking it up and they are really getting awarded with the as recipients for this grant. And that is the one that you actually on that particular course, you logged us in, or we set up an account. I can't remember verbatim, I'll paraphrase, but you logged us in and had us fill out everything, that particular course, and from there submit.
Yeah. So that's when I do group sessions and I do one-on-one sessions. It just depends on where your business is and what you need. I want people to not feel so intimidated by grants. Of course, like maybe the first one might be a little daunting, but when you start doing more and more, you build your arsenal. So I can finish a grant in like 20 minutes because I'm copying and pasting, because I've built the arsenal of my grant responses, of, you know, the challenges I've overcome, and then I tweak it and stuff like that. So I wanted to.
And that's what I was gonna ask. Like, do you keep investing into your skill set as you do your first one, you get awarded, then you keep investing into that content and, you know, structuring it and making sure that it reads properly? Because I think that's the daunting part of it, is that people think that you have to have this this response or these answers that, you know, is going to make them think like, okay, you're somewhere where you're not. But you actually taught us to be very transparent and authentic when we're filling out these questions.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, depending on how large the grant pool is or how big it is, if it's a national grant, you know, like the Pine Sol one for $100,000 that just recently closed, I think a lot of women were applying to that, right? So they probably do have an automated system at the beginning just to see if you meet the basic criteria. Kind of automates it and pushes it through. But in my experience, I know that actual people are reading your responses. Like I just got called to be an evaluator for a grant. So if I'm an evaluator, I want to read something that speaks to me. So for me, I'm going to share my real authentic story. And no, you don't have to have a sad or sob story, but it just needs to be a true story. So for me, I talk about how I went to go sign the lease. Within 2 weeks of me signing the lease, my mom had like a massive stroke, in addition to like her cancer diagnosis. So she never physically got a chance to walk the studio. But I don't phrase it as me being a victim. I'm just saying like, this is what happened. Everything that could have stopped me tried to stop me, but I still continued to, you know, just open the studio, do what I had to do, and God really blessed it. And I really think that that season of just being challenged, and that, you know, before my mom passed, I was doing like 12 hours at the hospital while she was doing rehab. I was, you know, had a young son, my husband. So just balancing all of that, I really think that it helped to build me for the pandemic, because that was something that we had never seen. I was only open for 5 months and had to really like get some deep strength, the strength of the Holy Spirit to like fight through, to not close down, to not, you know, just feel defeated or depressed. So I really think that season built my strength to see like God's hand moved, even in the build out process of the studio and losing my mom and still all of that. So all that to say, I share those stories because at the end of the day, I know that somebody else's family member or loved one has probably experienced a cancer diagnosis, you know? It's just the norm of, you know, the world we live in. I know that people can, you know, relate to being probably like a mother, or seeing their mother, you know, push through for her dreams, or maybe seeing their mother not push through for their dreams and they felt like she should have. So I speak from the place of, okay, these are my experiences. This is why I'm deserving of this grant, because they ask me questions like, what are the challenges you've overcome? Like, why are you deserving of this grant? So I'm honest and I'm open. I talk about the things that I've learned. I'm young, you know, so be honest.
For sure, for sure. So now, do you think, because I have been strategically looking for certain ones, because one of these databases you put us in now, they include us into the network. So they send us out the newsletters and they send us out the next round of grants that's going on. But do you think that we have to be like niche? Do we look for niche grants, or should we be open to the ones that come our way?
I say be open, because you don't get 100% of what you don't apply to. And I have two examples. In college, it was like a National Black McDonald's Operators Association grant. And at that time, I think you had to be like a hospitality management major. That was my major originally, but I decided to change to marketing. And I still applied for that grant. I still was awarded that grant. They still renewed that grant every year. So I think based on your strong application, you can be eligible when you're not really eligible. And God, I do believe, because I think Pastor Winston has said this, like God will change the laws in your favor, like the rules and stuff. So certain, you know, certain things I'm not going to necessarily apply. If they say you got to be Asian Pacific and I'm nowhere Asian Pacific, I'm not going to apply to that grant. But if it's something that's like a one-off, I'm still going to apply. So I'm not just, because a lot of what I've seen is industry agnostic, like it's not specific to industry, the grants that I've received. It hasn't said like, you know, you have to be a service-based business. They've just been for Black women. That's what I've been seeing. So I would
there's been a lot of minority ones too, especially women. Like it's our time. That's these women. It is our time to plug in, tap in. And okay, I'm super excited. Like I could feel my spirit leaping, because I think once you plug in and you really get in tuned and you start, you know, saying, okay, I'm gonna search and find this hidden money, because that's what the Bible tell you. God do tell you in Isaiah, I think it's like 45, with his anointed one Cyrus, that I'm going to show you, you know, treasures in secret places. And so we can put that a part of, you know, our business regimen, to go out and seek these grants and, you know, apply for them and see what comes out, you know, the deal for you. And so, okay, because I'm like, okay, I got to get my questions right together, guys. Y'all know how I am. I just be going on in this virtuous strength. But we are super excited. So tell us what you have going on and what you have coming up next.
Yeah, so I just relaunched my personal brand, my website, briannahairlson.com, and that is for all grant writing needs. So if you want, I don't have any group sessions right now. I'll probably look to get those going again after my recital, which is July 30th. So probably in August, September, I'll do group grant writing sessions where you're in a group setting, just like what you were a part of. We walk through it together. It's not really individualized. You have an opportunity to ask questions at the end, but it's at a lesser price. You still get the great value, but it's a group session. So I still have those. I have one-on-ones where people actually, a lot of people struggle with what to say. And I think in the African American community, I think sometimes people feel like they're not educated enough to write well or to speak well. So that's when I come in to just, I know what they want to say, but just help them put it on paper and create
like a ghost grant writer.
Yeah, like a ghost grant writer. You have your business statement, and then we actually apply for a grant as well. So I have those two services as well, a one-on-one 1 hour session and then a one-on-one 2 hour session. I do pick my brains just for business advice and strategy. And just sometimes as entrepreneurs, we're multifaceted, and God has given us so much. And I'm even like that. Like, what do I do first? And I had to do the studio first, and that had to become successful for me to even be able to then branch out to do the grants. So that's going on right now. And then the biggest thing, our studio is a finalist for our portion of a $1 million media. It's through.
So it's $1 million.
It's $1 million split between 10 people. So it's 100,000 per business. So voting is every day daily. Until July 31st. So that's exciting for us.
That is super exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. And that was during the recession. They had a call to do like if you wanted free marketing or publicity for your business, right? So we got that during the pandemic. We were on the radio, and then maybe a day before the deadline of this thing, because I had never even heard about it, they say, hey, put your application in to be a finalist. And we put our application in, and then we're a finalist. So that's the biggest thing that's going on for us right now.
Oh, yay. Well, congratulations. And I'm super excited. So when you win that one, I'm really going to be contacting you one-on-one, because I need that one-on-one. It's like, I just got through applying for, because I have a docuseries. It's actually a reality show, but when they read the script, they was like, oh, this needs to be a docuseries, because of the simple fact there's more funding. Reality shows, they always take all of these different hoops and loops or whatever. So it'll be more funding if you categorize it as a docuseries, and it actually qualified, the way we produced it. And so I'm waiting to get, the answers from there. And I'm hoping, and I know that we will, but it kind of seems just a little different when it comes to the film grants. They are very intense. Like the whole budget layouts and just theming and pitching and characters, it's just a lot, And so I was like, oh, okay, well, I feel pretty proficient in, submitting to these, because these are like niche grants that will actually support, the type of company that I have and the type of business that I'm in. And so I'm going to be talking to you about that a little further.
And I think you have, it's an asset that you are a writer,
Yes.
That helps you.
Or a director.
To phrase, even with your characters, your plots, when you're doing your grants, it just makes it a little bit easier, because you understand how you want something to be read. Like if you're reading from behind, how would this register with you? So it is helpful to have a good writer when you are applying for grants.
That's good, because writing, I write the way that I talk in conjunction. And I only write spiritual pieces and devotionals and manuals and stuff. So they really deep. A lot of times we don't find explanation parts and grammatical stuff in the Bible, so that's how I write. So I'm more better as a speaker, and I'm more better as a producer. Like I'm able to show you through pictures. I'm able to show you what I'm saying, and so it has been a little challenging to me, and I'm being not slow, but I'm just taking my time to make sure that you know, they receive it from that perspective, but it'll be good to have someone like you to really talk to and pick your brain. Yeah, I like that, pick that brain part. And that came through COVID. Everybody want to pick brains and get the knowledge and, you know, really get with consultants and people who know the line of what they're doing. And so I really do recommend you. And I did recommend you to a few ladies who basically was looking for these grant opportunities. And I did send them your link way before me and you ever talked about this interview.
Well, I appreciate it. I do.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. So promote yourself. Let us know how we can find you, how we can network with you, and etc.
Yeah, so everything is at Brianna Hairlson. So that's Brianna. Hairlson is like hair on your head, Lson. So BriannaHairlson.com. I'm on Instagram at Brianna Hairlson. And then if you're interested in dance for your babies, virtually or in person, the studio is called Breeze Dance Place.
Oh, virtually as well.
And I apologize. My house is motorcycles driving past my house. Okay. I apologize about that. But yeah, the dance studio will be having our recital in July and just gearing up. We're going to take a little break until after Labor Day. So I can vacation. I need a hubby vacation. I need a vacation for the kids before they go back to school and just to relax. And I've really been listening to Michael Todd about like cuff to comfort, like resting, like learning how to rest and not work so hard, because I can be a very hard worker.
Yeah, because once you plug into, and do you think once you plug into those type of outlets of power, you think they drive you and they keep you going? And
I went to a retreat in North Carolina recently called Living Waters, and it really reinforced rest. But once you get that rest, it's like God kind of like breathes back into you, and then it gives you another push for the next, you know, season of life. Level. So I'm all about rest and relaxation
and replenish. Make sure you know. That covenant rest ain't no joke. I'm telling you, we need it. And God rested on the Sabbath, and we need to too. So, you know, we need to follow his footsteps, get our rest, because every level there's new, I don't like to say devils. I know people say new levels, new devils. I'm like, ain't nothing new about no devil. That old serpent, right? But it's new levels of glory that you have to carry, and your body, your mind, your whole being has to be centered properly for you to be able to, you know, operate in that, you know, because God's glory is really heavy. So I thank you so much for joining my show, interviewing with us. I mean, you gave us more than just some tips. Listen, all they got to do, like I told them on the post, is grab your pen and paper, because she did give you some pivotal information, and she was willing to just share it freely because she's so blessed and she's being a blessing to us with this. So thank you so much, Brianna. I really appreciate you coming on today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was good.
Yes. Okay. So thank you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. See you later.